Okay, so we've got another episode of High Rated Edison today. So we've got Synchro Monster with 885 rating, just outside the top 100, versus Wizop 817 with 1273 rating, so quite deep into the top 100. Opening hands are D Prison, Yata, Black Whirlwind, Sirocco, and Bora. D Prison, Elfin, Sirocco, Burial, and MST. So probably just straight Blackwings. And then going up against what we will probably assume is some kind of virus Vayu deck. So based on Elfin and Burial, probably some kind of virus Vayu deck. Elfin, for those people that haven't seen this before, is just a level 6 Blackwing that you can put in the main deck, meaning you could dump it off of Greffa or Armor Knight, and then you can use Vayu to go straight into an Armor Master, and that means that you can play both virus cards in Deck Devi and Eradicator. Eradicator requires a 2500 attack Dark Monster, so you want to get into Armor Master as soon as possible so you can make sure Eradicator is online as well. Synchro Monster going first, draws into Gauze. I'm going to start with Black Whirlwind, Bora. Not sure that Blizzard is the right pick blind in game 1. You always wonder if these are blind, because obviously these are two quite high ranked players that might have played before. Because you're foregoing Kalut and Gale there by going for the Blizzard. You've got the Sirocco, but that requires your Black Whirlwind to survive, which we think might not, based on the MSD hand. Obviously we can see that they can't. So that's the Yata. This is nice. Oh, it wasn't a heavy as well. Yeah, Yato is nice because you're probably heavy storming here, yeah, and they're going to. And the Yato is just going to basically force out the heavy storm, which is nice. Get rid of it for the game and recur you the value of the draw 1. So really nice. That might change the way Wiz chooses to use this MST in future now. Or even if they choose to use it, because they've seen a draw trap now. They might assume their opponent's on at least 2 to 5 more, and that might change their behaviour. So going to summon the Sirocco Pump and get over that for 2000, set the D Prison, draws into another copy of Sirocco. This is nice. If you're ever coming up against Vayu or Blackwing and you're also on Vayu or Blackwing, you want to keep seeing Sirocco. So Sirocco Pump, it's going to get D Prison, but you're broadly speaking fine with that because you have another copy in hand. Sirocco going to get in for a turn 2000 now, getting that with a Gauze. Yeah, set Mirror Force, that makes sense. Yeah, picks up a Starlight a little bit too late. It's a bit unfortunate, but I think it's still in a really good place. They're going to eat a Mirror Force here. Yeah, set everything. I mean, they can't really recur Heavy Storm, but you're kind of trying to play around an Icarus there. Choosing to blind MST into 3 after you've seen a draw trap is kind of wild. Not trying to tell Wizop how to play, they're far higher ranked than I am, but if you've seen draw traps, I just don't think you're MSTing. Not blind into 3. I think what you're doing is you're holding it for a Royal Oppression or another copy of Black Whirlwind. Hits the D Prison though, which is good. Oh yeah, actually Elfin's effect is somewhat relevant at the minute. This is probably the only circumstance in which it is relevant. So if it's in hand and you control a Blackwing monster, you can normal summon it without tributing, and when it's normal summoned you can target one monster your opponent controls, change that target's battle position. So at the minute they can normal summon this without tribute and then turn this to attack, which is interesting. I mean, it's probably going to get eaten by a D Prison, but yeah, and I think Wizop is right here not to pump. They've already seen the Gauze, although there are already loads of cards face down. But what I mean is you don't mind clearing the monster. But if you're seeing stuff like D Prison, you would want to try and just get in because you really just want to see this monster gone. Yeah, gonna crash. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Says the D Prison. Passes over, draws into Mirror Force. Mirror Force is nice. So yeah, gonna drop the Blizzard now. Bring back the Bora, go straight to battle phase. This is good because it means you're going to keep up a monster. The only downside to this is You know, Sirocco's pump effect is kind of crazy. So you don't know what this card is. If they end up with Sirocco Borer in hand, that would be a tough kind of hand to deal with a face-up Borer. Sets the Mirror Force and passes over. Draws into their own Gauze. Yeah, this is nice. That Burial's not doing much at the minute. Draws into MST. Put the Borer to attack and get in for some damage. That's going to get met with a Gauze. They're going to set. I think if you're Synchro Monster, you're feeling pretty confident here. You got an MST for some kind of like. Actually, sorry, I was talking about Black Whirlwind earlier. They wouldn't be on Whirlwind if it is Virus Vayu, but it could still be some kind of Blackwing Virus deck. So at this point, they probably know it's some kind of Vayu deck. But if they're still thinking it's just straight Blackwings, this is good for a Black Whirlwind. This is good for anything they have that's going to come in and try and get over anything you have. And Starlight Road's really good for a potential setup of Icarus attack. So yeah, I think you're attacking into the field there. Draws into the Allure. Goes to battle, going to get eaten by Mirror Force. Draws the Heavy. This is interesting. I wonder what you do here, because if you've got Allure, if you've seen your opponent's got 2 cards in hand, they've not set anything after Gauze, meaning they're probably not good back row. They've not played anything, so you know they're not good monsters. You probably assume they're some kind of dead spell or something. You could potentially Heavy here, use your own Starlight Road, bring out Stardust, get over this, and then get in for some damage. You've seen that Gauze, so you wouldn't care about attacking into an empty field. I think you do that. I'm trying to think of ways that could backfire if you're looking at it like this. I'm trying to think of ways that can backfire, and I just don't think there are any. Yeah, okay. The only thing you'd be worried about is wasting a Storm and a Starlight Road into 2 or 3 back rows, because one of them will probably be Icarus attack. That's the only thing, and the other thing would be like their own Starlight Road. But yeah, I think this is a really good use of Storm and Road. So it picks up a Rotor now. This is going to basically give away that it is Virus Vayu. So yeah, Rows out for the Armor Knight. Dumps the Vayu, yeah. I mean, I think that's fine. I think there was probably a case to say you Allure there and just try and dig for more resources. No, I think that's probably correct. So banish for Armed Wing. They go straight to battle. They could have burialed, brought all 3 back, used these 2 for an Armor Master to beat over the Stardust. But I guess they are worried about a Sirocco in hand, which they should be, because then they'd they'd take out all the monsters, potentially leave a Sirocco to come down, pump and get over. Okay, just chooses to beat over the Borer and sets the Burial. Yeah, it's tough. Burial is sometimes a really good set just as a bluff. Hope they go after it with the Heavy Stormer and MST, but not if they've already got that set, because this is pretty crushing now, because you've just turned off another Armor Master Armed Wing play. So that is unfortunate. Picks up another copy of Blizzard. Wow, Synchro Monster has had everything this game. So deciding what to do here. Normal summon the Blizzard. Yep. Brings this out. Yep. Goes into Goyo. Goyo into... yeah, Stardust into the Armed Wing. Goyo into the Armor Knight. Can use this effect to dump their own Vayu. Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice. Yeah, the Sirocco in hand means that they can potentially get this on a lot quicker than their opponent might think. Okay, Wiz draws into the Necro Gardener. yeah, chooses to allure here. Banishes the gardener. Yeah, I was just thinking there. I was just thinking, surely this is it now, because Gale can only half one thing. And you can't do anything else, and you're just getting absolutely bad next turn. So, yeah, going into game 2 now. So Wiz is going to choose to go first. Okay, yeah, now it looks more like a Vayu deck. You could really have gone quite deep into that last match and have thought that their opponent was on some kind of like Blackwing virus variant. So yeah, now it's going to really look like Vayu right from the offset. So opening hands are Icarus Attack, Deprison, Shura, Vayu and Blizzard. This is a kind of nice combo, the Icarus Vayu line. Not into this though, so Dust Tornado, Mirror Force, Gale, Raikou and Greffa. Okay. Draws down for turn, sets the Raikou, sets the Dust and passes over. Draws into a second copy of Shura. That's nice for later on in the game. Oh, okay. So they both go for a T set. Okay, yeah. Okay. I wondered if they were going to do that. It looked like it was about to change turn. So, yeah, Dust Tornado is the back row in end phase. That's going to really give away that this is a set Vayu. Draws into Dust Shoot. Raikou's the Vayu. Doesn't mill anything. That's unfortunate. Goes to main phase 1. Gale. Yeah, getting for 15. I'm not sure why you would do that over just attacking him with the Catasta. But I guess you're playing around Gauze? Sort of, even though the Gauze would come down and still be 27. I don't know. I assume they've just not thought that through all the way. Okay, sets the Dust Shoot and passes. Yeah, I really don't think they've thought that through, but okay. Draws into the Gale. Gale, normal summon. Attempt to get in. Yeah. Okay. What's the log look like here? I thought it was strange they hadn't trapped Dust Shooted, but I figured they were going to hold it for battle phase. Do it at the start of battle phase in case of like Kalut or something, but they'd already half, so they wouldn't need to. Enter main phase, normal summoned from hand, declared effect. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think I'd be letting my opponent do that. But maybe that's just me. Let's see how they choose to resolve this. Oh, he is going to let him resolve it. Okay. So, sends back the Blizzard. Sets the Deprison. And passes over. Draws into a Vayu. Vayu's a great pickup here for the Greffa. So, Greffa's going to dump probably the Elfin. Yeah. This is nice. They know they're on Deprison, so, you know. Got to choose when you want to use it. Yeah, fine. I mean, you could argue that you want to wait until they use this, make the Armor Master. But you know, getting the Gale to stick is also really strong. So draws into Icarus. Battle phase with the Gale. Doesn't choose to activate Mirror Force. Sets the Icarus. Yeah, I'm just thinking about numbers for Dad. At 4 at the minute. That's tough to, because you can go down to 2. You really need something like a Armor Knight. Sirocco probably fine. So he's probably going to summon, maybe not attempt to pump actually, because that would turn off any kind of battle. Icarus Attack, hit both, drop Dad. Yeah. Okay. Draws into Blizzard. Did they shuffle? Oh, has it been a turn longer than I thought? Oh yeah, they shuffled this one. Okay, so draws into Blizzard. Normal Summon Shura, getting for 18. Yeah, wow, this is game then. Yeah, so I mean we'll see how they do it, but effectively they've got Armor Master here, gets them onto 3 darks, and they've got Burial to make 2 of them. So this one is over. So Armor Master coming down. Dad gets dropped here. Pops with the Gale, Burial, and yeah, Synchro Master sees the line. So going into game number 3, Synchro Master will go first. Opening hands are Blizzard, Whirlwind, Bottomless, Starlight Road, Brain, and Kalut. Bottomless, Greffa, Allure, Return, and Vayu. Okay, so apart from Synchro Monster not having like a Bora or a Shura, this hand's really good, and then this hand is also really good. So it looks like we're about to see 2 very good players in a game 3 with 2 fairly good hands. So going to Whirlwind for the Kalut, pick up the Gale. This is nice. Decides to set both. Yeah, you're kind of showing that you have road by this, but they have seen a draw trap, so maybe they think one is real and one is a draw trap. Draws into TT. Wow, god, yeah, every time we've seen Starlight Road it's been relevant. So we're going to start with the Allure. Oh, and they draw into the Heavy as well. Oh no. Oh no. I was just going to say, if you're Wiz Up, what do you do here? Because you've seen Starlight Road and you've also seen draw traps. We have the, wonderful power of hindsight here, but I think if I'm Wiz Up, I'm not going for the Heavy. These could be 2 legitimate back rows. They could be a Starlight Road, which it is, and a draw trap. Yeah. I mean, it's very alluring to go to see these 3 down and just get to your main phase, just throw out a Heavy Storm, but I just don't think you do it in this situation. So we're going to Starlight Road now, bring out the Stardust. Yeah, Greffa, dump Vayu, dump Elfin. Yeah. Armor Master's going to get Bottomless. Oh, doesn't get Bottomless. Oh no, it doesn't get Bottomless, okay. Yeah, I was thinking that would be incredibly strange. Going to be over the Kalut here. So it's TT, Return, and Bottomless. Okay, so trying to probably bluff their own road. Or just confident that they wouldn't storm their own Whirlwind. Okay, so draws into Deck Devi. Deck Devi's interesting. It is kind of good against Vayu, but it's not so good like after siding, I would say. Especially if you know you're going first in game 3, they're probably taking out some of the Raikou package, or all of the Raikou package. So yeah, it's not as good if you're going first, yeah, ironically. So Blizzard going to bring out the Kalut, search for the Vayu, special summon Gale, half, yeah, brain control. Yeah, I mean, may as well, right? Dump the Sirocco. I mean, it's a weird way to play it, but I guess you're kind of confident under this Stardust. So make an Armor Master. Armor Master's going to get Bottomless. Do you Stardust there? Do you Stardust to keep an Armor Master, knowing that they're only on 2 back row after that? Yeah, I mean, we can see that it's Return, but aside from making a wall, I don't even think that does anything. I think if I'm looking at this, I'm probably Stardusting that, and I'd be an idiot for it because I'd be playing right into TT. So Synchro Monster makes the right call. But yeah, so Gonna banish Sirocco and Vayu for an armed wing. Gets in for 13. Chooses not to torrential there. Yeah, I think it's probably fine. You're not seeing game on the board yet. TT. Yeah. Yep. I think this is fine. So it goes to make an 8. Makes Colossal. Colossal's interesting. Just because of the battle recursion, in case they have like a Sirocco draw, and also if anything happens to it, you can deck Devi it away. Yeah, I think that's correct. Picks up a Cyber Dragon. That is it then, unless it, well, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So there's not. It's funny. There's a lot of cards on field, but not a lot of them do anything. So you summon the Cyber Dragon, you torrential, say, try and clear the board. You bait the Stardust, then you different dimension for the 2 Vayus and the Elf, and because this wasn't summoned properly, you're still not any further forward. You're still not getting over the Colossal Fighter. And that leaves your whole field open. You'd have half the life points and a big old Colossal Fire looking you down. Yes, there's nothing Wizop can do here. Really cool game 3 though. Really cool game 3. I think the mistake was storming into the back rows, and I know that's so alluring, but I just think after seeing a Draw Trap and Starlight Road, I would not do that immediately. I would hope for something that I can pull to kind of narrow it down a bit more, something like an MST first. But yeah, and that kind of set in motion the downfall here. Really good game overall though. 2 really good players with 2 of the best decks in the format and 2 really good hands each going into game 3. So great game to showcase.